Hi friends, today let's talk about how can a young person put his life in pure. So today when we speak about a young person putting his life or trying to put his life in purity, it seems to be hard and difficult, and it seems to be impossible that a young person can put his life in a purity. But when we see in the Bible, it seems to be clear that as a young person or as a young people, we also can put our life in a purity by the word of God. It says in Psalm 119 verse 9 that, how can a young man keep his life pure? By obeying your words. Yes, when we say that to put a life as a young person in a purity or to live as a godliness, it means that we need to put the word of God as a seal, as a guarding of ourselves, so that we have to guard ourselves with the word of God. For to make ourselves live in a purity, we need to be that person that we are using the word of God as a seal of a protection to us. When we are not using the protection of the word of God as a seal to us, it means that a Satan comes over to us and he says some foolish word to us to fool us. It means that we can easily be foolish and we can easily be deceived by their sweet words. But when we are being protected by the word of God and we are being in a seal of protection by the word of God, by obeying and by listening to the word of God, it means that we cannot be deceived or we cannot be a foolish one. My dear friends, so for that reason, if you want that in your young life, in your youth life, to let yourself be in a purity, to live as a person of godliness, to make yourself a person that who is living in a pure, to make your life purity, with a purity that there is no kind of that you are being foolish with the devil's word, or you are not being fooled with the devil's word. That means you have to let yourself be guarded with the word of God. You have to make a seal of the word of God to protect yourself. And secondly, that is also very important, you have to know is that you have to use prayer. My dear friends, when we say or when we talk about the word of God to use to protect yourself for a purity, the prayer, the word of prayer must always come. Because when we are praying or when we are asking or when we are seeking for a prayer, it means that we are asking God for help. Through prayer, we are asking God for strength, power, that we can overcome any kind of devil temptation or any kind of devil foolish word that comes over to us to deceive us. So my dear friends, when we or you are trying to make yourself live in a purity, to let yourself be in a way of pure in your youth life, it means that please try to use the word of God and prayer to protect yourself, not to be foolish, and to make your way of purity in an impurity. So my dear friends, in this Sunday, I just want to say you and encourage you, if you are wanting to let yourself believe or make your way in purity, then use God's word and prayer so that you can be a right child of God. So my dear friends, that's all. So wishing you all have a great day in a blessing of God.